This week's Focus on Farm Transition is going to be for the junior partners, so sit up and listen. We have Jolene Brown with us today. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Tell us what you do.
Well, I can castrate a bull, I can inseminate a cow and hypnotize a chicken, but not going to do any of that today with the junior partners. They're safe. But what I do is I really help our businesses become worthy of transitioning, that they learn how to operate as a business, get it done right, so that we can transition a legacy. And then we've got really good legal and financial advisors to get that important work done. So my job is let's get you ready to transition, let's do it right so a succession plan can happen.
I am really curious, if you were to go back and talk to your 25-year-old farmer self, what would you say?
Well, the first thing I would say is that being part of the business is not a birthright. There's no entitlement here, people. And so I don't want to be a senior generation or a mom or dad hiring a son or daughter. I want really good leader managers hiring really worthy employees. You're going to apply for the job just as anybody else, and we're not going to create a job for you. And so we have to understand that it is not the senior generation's job to make sure the farm is big enough so somebody who wants to come back into the business gets to come. There's things the next generation needs to do.
So what types of things should they be doing?
Well, I do know one thing, and that is the younger generation is a lot better at writing business plans than the senior generation. And they have gone to school, they are willing to sit next to their lender, they're willing to get the insight of how to do it. And so if I were that younger generation, would be my approach. I would be coming with a business plan of where I see you at today. But you know, you guys have been here longer than me. I know I've missed a bunch of stuff, but just based on being around you, this is where I think the farm is at today. Now, if I have the privilege to be back here, to not just work with you, but to grow into management leadership, here's the value I would bring. And by the way, this is what it is going to cost the business. Because I've learned a long time ago that the value must equal the cost, or else it's entitlement. And so it's the business plan, and they're the ones who will write the best case scenario, the worst case scenario, and here's where I think we're really going to go. But the senior generation won't do that. They just want you to come back and you're going to be labor here. We need some cheap labor. Let's bring in the kids. Well, that's not what the kids are thinking. And so when we have a chance to have that younger generation show responsibility and maturity through paperwork, which means something, because your lender is going to be sitting with you deciding, do we have enough money to bring another family unit in? Or an advisor might be sitting next to you. It is when that generation comes prepared, here's what I know, but I have so much to learn. I'm so grateful to be here. Then I know we've got the business started out on the right foot.
Absolutely. Are there things that come to mind that maybe some assumptions you made at that age, or that you've seen junior partners make, that they were just out in left field and really had to learn the hard way?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot more fringe benefits than there actually were. I just figured, I could still go out on Saturday night and I could still do my thing because I'm still dating, I still have places to go and things to do. Why do I have to stay out there till the field is harvested or till the tractor's repaired or their animals are fed? So I think the rude awakening was also the joyful awakening because it put responsibility where it should be, and that is on the student who is learning. The problem is we don't always have teachers teaching. We haven't shared the expectation up front. And the number one comment I hear when I do a young producer conference or with junior partners is, Jolene, I can't do anything right, but I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. And that's because they don't know their job description, the expectations, but all they knew is everything they do wrong. And then a dad says to me, well, he should know he went to college for 4 years. He ought to know what he's supposed to do around here. He grew up in this farm. And I said, so how's that working for you, Dad? So the expectations need to be very clear. And it helps if you go in with the heart of the student and a grateful heart, just to be grateful for the opportunity that you even can be a part of a family business and be part of agriculture.
What makes you excited about this generation of young farmers coming up right now?
Well, as my daughters say to me, Mom, we've got the upstarts and the old farts. Guess where you are? And these upstarts who have, and it's not just the technology and the multitasking they can do, it's that they know how to use peers, they know how to use advisors. When peers are more important than parents, and friends can become more important than family, they have a whole different group of network around them that challenges them, that brings them expertise, that lets them form conglomerations of ideas that we'd never thought of before. And so I am truly excited. And also the work ethic, because many of these young people have come through the ranks of doing the chores, of doing things and not getting that allowance for the paycheck. And they have 4-H or FFA in their background. And we have a young generation willing to work, willing to learn, and they have to be given credit for the value that they can bring.
If there is one key characteristic that every junior partner needs to have, what would you say it is?
You have to have grit. And grit is only formed by being uncomfortable and by being tested. And the enemy of grit is ease. So one of the things that people of my generation have done is we've made it way too easy for another generation to come in. We've kept the debt, we make sure we pay them, they've got a place to live, they've got their paycheck and everything that goes with it. And this isn't true for all people, but unless you are tested, unless you have to live between the means and earn the right for it, we just don't know that. A lot of the younger generation, and to me the younger two is in their 20s and early 30s, they think that they're ready to take over. And one of the challenges that I'm finding is because we went through such tough economic times in agriculture, we don't have a lot of late 40, early 50-year-olds out there because there wasn't an economic base to bring that generation back. And now we've got the young people who we have brought in, but they've not been tested. And this is why I have to work with so many farm families about having an interim CEO. Somebody whose job description is to vet the next generation, to see who is building management and leadership skills so they can earn the right to be part of that level on the team. But it requires some experience, it requires some hardships, it requires some good times, it requires you bringing value to the business. And that doesn't happen overnight.
So if you had an opportunity to say one thing to our viewers, what would it be?
Oh, well, here's an important lesson. It's okay to be tall. Now I'm seated, but I'm really 6 feet tall. And by the way, our youngest daughter is 6'3" tall. And I had a t-shirt made for her that said, yes, I play basketball, do you play miniature golf? So, but here's the deal. Whatever size you are, whatever talents you have, whatever background you come from, whatever your goal is, it's okay. And it is where you are at today that is the foundation starting block of everything that you can be tomorrow. Just know you don't have to work this journey alone. You got to take some steps, but invite some people to come along with you. And when you do that, the sky's the limit for what we can do in agriculture.
Thank you, Jolene, for being here. We have had some great messages today. We are excited for you to continue to follow these videos, so please subscribe and you won't miss out.